701 West Lime Street, baby.
So you don't understand and you didn't show understand.
Alright guys, welcome back to Mondays with McGriff. That's the kind of stuff that keeps me coming back. Like I've always got something that say, okay, what can we be better at?
That's a heck of a job. And walk all the way and come back, right? Come on.
Alright guys and girls, welcome back to episode 4 of Mondays with McGriff. This will be our last one of the season. Next Monday will be Christmas. We're definitely not going to be on for Christmas. We probably will go the following week, which will be New Year's Day. But we'll go New Year's Day because there'll be so much action to recap from the Christmas break, and then we'll have so much Polk action that we'll be getting to for the January, for that Friday and Saturday of that week of January. So we'll have a show on January 1st, but no show on December 25th. So this will be the last show of the year. We thank you guys for tuning in. We've been getting some great response. If you got questions or things like that, inbox us or whatever you do on social media to get it to us. We're going to get right into it with our soapbox issues. Soapbox issue I want to talk about this week, our college guys, our guys that are playing college ball. Starting with Walter Clayton, and we kind of gave me the impetus to think about it because he was at the Lakeland Center, the RP Funding Center this Thursday. Great performance by him, especially in the first half. In the second half, his team held on for the win. He's having a phenomenal season, Walter Clayton. 16 points, almost 4 rebounds a game, almost 3.5 assists a game. And they're a little better than what they were last year. There's no accident. Coaching's overrated. You got to have players. Walter Clayton is a player. He's a heck of a player. But we've got 3 other guys that are in college playing college basketball. I just want to give a quick shout out to them. First of all, his high school teammate Tyrone Smith. Tyrone Smith is at the New College of Florida over in Sarasota, playing basketball. Interesting case, and he's playing 6-8 minutes a game. Okay, he's not really, he's not scoring a whole bunch of points, maybe a couple of points a game, but he's playing and he's living out a dream in what he wants to do. Tyrone was at the University of South Florida. He's really in business administration. He really wants to be an accountant. He's over at South Florida the last 2 years, getting a free education. Okay, living the life of a college student. He calls me and says, "Coach, I still got the itch to play basketball." And I says, "Tyrone, you're going to school for free. You're smart as a whistle. You're going to be somebody's CPA, making a lot of money." He says, "I still want to play." So he starts sending film out. We help him get some film together. He starts sending film out and gets this opportunity to go to New College of Florida, and he loves it. First of all, he's still getting a free education, not having to pay any money out of his pocket. He'll still be able to be an accountant, which is important to his mom, important to us. Second, he's playing, and he wants to play. And so shout out to Tyrone for stepping out on faith, living his dream out, still going to college, playing at New College of Florida, playing basketball at New College of Florida. It's over in Sarasota. We'll get the chance to see him play here late in the year, hopefully. We've got another Yellow Jacket, Jaden Wynn, that's playing at Palm Beach State. Palm Beach State is a JUCO, just like Polk State. Palm Beach State down there in Palm Beach. Okay, Wynn is averaging 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. He's at home for Christmas break. He just told me the other day that he's got 2 Division I offers. He told me the schools, but I'm going to keep those private with some more to come. I also have some D2 interest. So Jay Wynn really is blossoming. We told college coaches when he left a couple years ago, his best basketball is in front of him because he was a late starter. He's 6'7". He's long and rangy. He kind of got a good passer, has got a good feel for the game. 13 points, 8 rebounds. Yellow Jackets, he'll be in Polk County on January 3rd. So just like we came out for Walt Clayton, Yellow Jackets, we're going to go out for Jaden Wynn. Come out for Jaden Wynn on January 3rd. I think they play Polk State. We'll get you some more details about that on the January 1 broadcast. But we're excited about Jaden Wynn. And then our 4th Yellow Jacket, and giving assist to Sebring, is Marshall O'Hearn. He's at Southeastern. He's redshirt. He played 1 game early, but he's really redshirting this year. In talking with Marshall, he's doing what he's got to do in the classroom. He's showing up to practice. He loves basketball. He's another Yellow Jacket that loves basketball and doing what he's got to do. And he'll be a guy that'll be a program guy for Southeastern. Obviously, he's going to get a great education. But he's going to be a program guy that he'll get more minutes next year, and the year after that, he'll get more minutes, and he'll really be he's going to really be a guy that can make an impact for them on the court because of the kind of character he is and because he loves basketball. So shout out to Marshall O'Hearn. Okay, so weekend review. We're off the soapbox, and now we're on the weekend review. Okay, we were 3-3 going into the week. We swept the week. I don't know when the last time the Yellow Jackets have done that, but we swept the week. Won 3 big games against Sebring on Tuesday, against Kathleen on Friday, and against Jesuit on Saturday. 2 of those 3 teams beat us last year. Sebring beat us in Bartow last year by 6. 54-48. We switched it and beat them. I think the score was 53-49, so same type of score. And Jesuit beat us last year 60-57 at Jesuit. We returned that, lost to them 52-49 in Bartow on Saturday. And that was sandwiched around our rival game against Kathleen. We played Kathleen more than once, so we'll talk about that as well. But let's get into it, okay? First of all, Sebring, it was a very ugly game for us. We like ugly if we win, and so we'll take the ugly win. All this, let me tell you why it was ugly. Let me just get into that. Okay, we were down 9-2 in the first quarter, so we've never won a game in my 22 years where we scored 2 points in a quarter and then won the game. So we were down 9-2 into the first quarter, and 9-2 at Sebring, and found a way to win the game. It was just a yucky game. It was a defensive game. Sebring didn't want to lose to us. They were ready to play, and we didn't want to lose. We had a great second quarter. I think we outscored them by about 10 in the second quarter to kind of get control of the game. We did a good job. We told you last week they had 4 kids that we thought that we had to guard. Well, we guarded 3 of the 4. The one kid, number 3, ended up with 23 or 24 points, but the other 3 kids, we really did a good job of neutralizing them on our defense. Okay, and it just was a terrific, gritty game. It was an ugly game, but it was a gritty game. And so we don't really have, a lot to highlight as far as people scoring a lot of points. We did not have anybody in double digits. I can't tell you the last time we won a game where we scored 2 points in a quarter, and then we did not have anybody in double digits and won the game. Okay, so I'm gonna highlight 2 people. The first person I'm gonna highlight is a senior. Ryan Wiggins had 8 points, 2 big threes, had a big rebound to close the game down the stretch. People probably don't know who the heck Ryan Wiggins is outside of Bartow, but we do. He's probably one of the smartest guys we have. He understands our culture and system on the floor better than anybody. 2 big threes to kind of turn the game there in the second and third quarters, and then a big rebound down the stretch. Second guy we want to highlight, a freshman, Jacoby Terry. Jacoby Terry's floor game was terrific. He came in the game, he changed the tenor of the game with his defense, okay? He had a big shot in the second quarter. Then in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter, when we were making a run to kind of expand the lead, we wound up getting a double-digit lead and couldn't hold it against Sebring. He made a beautiful jump stop in the lane and kick out for 3 to Ryan Wiggins. And then the next couple possessions later, he drove the lane opened up like Moses parting the Red Sea down and made a beautiful layup over the big 6'9" kid they have. So those 2 kids were just 2 of the kids I want to highlight. We highlight other people all the time, the guys that do the most scoring, but those 2's impact on the game, I said it after the game, was terrific to win a game down there in Sebring. Okay, let's give you some statistics from that game. We talked about points per possession last week. Well, we were not over 1. We told you you want to be over 1 and you want to keep the other team under 1. Well, both of us were under 1. Sebring was we were 0.78 and Sebring was 0.69 points per possession. That's why it was 53-49, right? All right, the turnover margin was probably the difference in the game. We talked about turnover percentage last week. Our turnover percentage was 18.6. Which is a little bit higher than what we wanted to be. We want to be, 15% of it's good. Okay, Sebring's zone was 24.8%. Remember we talked about the turnover percentages. Basically, if you had 100 possessions, what percent of those possessions end in the turnover? And so turnover margin, we won that battle. Ours was 18.6. Sebring's zone was 24.6. And why is that important? Well, in a game that we won by 4 on the road, when nobody scored double digits, where we struggled to score from the field, where we struggled to score at the free throw line. I think we went to the free throw line 6 times, okay? What's the difference in the game? points off turnovers. So the turnover percentage leads to points off turnovers. Sebring got 9 points off our turnovers. Okay, we got 15 points off of Sebring's turnovers. So that's a 6-point spread and a 4-point game on the road. That's why we won the game. Okay. Next, we're going to go to our rivalry game at Kathleen. Okay, first of all, you guys know Kathleen is kind of struggling, but they're getting better. Okay, they were 1-5 last week. They're 1-5 probably, I think, for the season. Okay, last week they played 4 games, and I watched all of them. I was a part of one of them. Okay, and I watched them beat Lake Wales. Okay, then I watched them lead Discovery, where Discovery's undefeated, and Discovery's got a great home court advantage over there. Shout out to Coach B. And they were leading Discovery late in the game and lost that. Okay, then they had a 16-point lead against Lake Gibson. Well, somebody may say, well, that's Lake Gibson. Well, Lake Gibson had a big win on Friday night that kind of proved that they're not as bad as everybody thinks. He's got a good team over there, Boatwright. Shout out to Coach Boatwright. So they had a 16-point lead in the third quarter against Lake Gibson and blew it. And then it was a close game for 3 quarters with us in Bartow. So I told our guys going into the game, the difference between a one-win team, which Kathleen was, a team that's 500, which going into the week we were 500, and a team that's 6-1 or 7-0 ain't much. The difference between 1-5, 3-3, and 5-0 or 6-0 is about the size of a fingernail. Okay? So Kathleen proved that on Friday night. We beat them 64-50 at Kathleen, which is our 4th win in a row of the series. Okay, we want to talk about a couple of kids first, and we'll talk about some stats and why they matter second. Trick Butler really did a great job defensively against their point guard. He started the game beautifully. He had 2 first-quarter threes. Okay, but his defense on number 5 from Kathleen was exquisite. He wound up with 12 points and 6 rebounds. You guys have heard me talking about rebounds and how important it is. Okay, well, his rebound, and quite frankly, I'm going to be honest with you, he has not been rebounding to our standard. But for him to get 6 rebounds as a guard, tremendous in that game. Which, you know, when you play Kathleen, it's a physical game. It's going to be a lot of loose balls, a lot of rebounds and stuff like that. And so he got 6 rebounds. Great job by Trick Butler. Second guy that showed up the second half. He did not do anything the first half. And when we came out at halftime, I kind of said it in a very nice way. I kind of smiled and said, "You haven't done anything the whole first half." Just like that, right? In a very nice and calm way, as you guys know, I talk to the guys. Okay, it's Edward Wiggins. Okay, but he wound up with 7 points and a career high. It's a career high, 15 rebounds. And I don't know, I haven't delved into the stats to know how many of them were the second half, but most of those were the second half because he didn't do much the first half. Okay, 7 points and 15 rebounds. He had 4 assists, okay, and 1 turnover. And you guys know what he does, blocking shots and affecting shots at the rim. So he was just terrific. For him to pull down 7 points, but 15 rebounds, 4 assists with only 1 turnover and block shots, he was terrific. So thank you, Ed, for showing up the second half. We'd like you to show up both halves, okay? Antoine Willis, I need to mention, had 6 steals. The game turned in the third quarter with our defense. He had 6 steals, 2 charges, 4 assists, and I think he had 10 points. He should have had 20 points, and I've talked to him about that. He knows it. And so the free throws. Okay, what stats matter for a win like that against Kathleen? Okay, Kathleen went to the line 40 times. 40. The Yellow Jackets went 16. We did make 12 of those 16, so that was a good stat, 12 to 6. But they went 40 times. We got to do a better job of not fouling teams, okay? So why did we win the game? You said points per possession. Ours was 0.85. Theirs was 0.63 points per possession. We did have 16 assists to their 8. We did have 14 assists to their 7. We had too many turnovers again. We had 20. They had 24. Okay, so why did we win the game? Another thing we're going to introduce today is effective field goal percentage. Effective field goal percentage. Field goal percentage, most everybody knows how many shots you make divided by how many shots you take. So if you make 5 shots and you take 10 shots, you make 50% of your shots. Effective field goal percentage counts 3-pointers for 0.5% more than a regular field goal. So it's one of those analytic stats that go into the game. So effective field goal percentage is different than field goal percentage. It factors in what the 3-point line and it gives you 0.5 points more for the 3-pointer that you make for made 3-pointers. And because the 3-pointers, are worth 50% more than a 2-pointer. So here's that stat. Here's the stat that won us the game. Effective field goal percentage, 42% for us, which is not great by any stretch of the imagination. But then 28.7% for Kathleen. So 42 to 28.7. What does that tell you, Coach McGriff? That tells you that our defense was outstanding in the game, and we can clean up the fouls. That our defense we looked like Yellow Jackets defensively. I hadn't said that a lot this year, but we looked like Yellow Jackets defensively in that game, with it, save for the fouls, for that effective field goal percentage to have that kind of disparity. Offensively, we're still not clicking. We'll talk about that in a minute, okay? Jesuit, we played Jesuit the next day in a matinee Saturday at the Hive. It was a good crowd there for a Saturday. Jesuit always brings a good crowd, and then our crowd stopped shopping enough to come out to the game. We beat Jesuit 52-49, 52-49. And I'm going to give you the stats first, and then I'm going to talk about the 2 kids. So anytime you beat Jesuit, it's a good win. You guys know the history of Jesuit. They're one of the state's consistent premier programs. Their coach has 700 wins. He's been coaching there 37 years. Shout out to Coach Goldman. It's a great job. So let me give you some statistics, and then and I'll put it together for you, okay? And we've been talking about these statistics over the course of the show, and this is our 4th show. We had 25 turnovers in the game, Jesuit 18, so we lost that. Okay, so obviously the turnover percentage did not go in our favor. Jesuit's turnover percentage is 25. Ours was 35%, and that's the highest of the year. Okay, so you're thinking, how do we win the game? I don't know. Jesuit had 14 steals. We had 5. Okay, so how do we win the game? Okay, Jesuit had 16 deflections. We had 10. How the heck did we win the game? Well, Jesuit was 9 for 12 from the free throw line. Okay, we were 10 for 12 from the free throw line. So how do we win the game? We're losing all those stacks. Okay, we were 2-11 for 11 from 3. Jesuit was 4 for 22. So you say, well, Jesuit won those stats. Both of us shot 18% from the 3-point line because they took 11 more than we did. So what was the key stat to the game? Well, the effective field goal percentage that we just talked about, okay? Ours was 54%. Remember how bad it was against Kathleen? It was 42%. When we didn't turn it over, we actually made shots, 54%. Jesuit's zone was 41%. And now I'm going to give a shout out for the first time this year in the 4th show. We looked like Yellow Jackets on defense. I was just salivating as I was watching the tape after the game. I got goosebumps. I said, well, just for a game, we looked like Yellow Jackets. We didn't foul. We got after defensively. We were booger bears on the boards. We did not let their best 2 players dominate the game. Okay, we stood tall. We took charges. We were on the floor first. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. We looked like Yellow Jackets just for one game. Just for one game. But we looked like Yellow Jackets. So we won the game. That game was won totally by our defense. And I'm glad that Rick Felix plays for me because he had 23 points on 9 for 12 shooting. Okay, and he got some layups and dunks and some timely layups and dunks that were terrific. He was outstanding. He's been struggling for us this year because he's new to our system. He's new to our culture. I would like to say that we're complicated in what we do, and sometimes he's trying to figure it out. He's got a language barrier a little bit because he's from the Dominican. He came to the States when he was in 7th grade, and so, but he figured it out on Saturday just in time. 23 points, huge points in a game where we only scored 52 points. So probably our best win of the season, probably our best win in about a year. 52-49 knuckler against Jesuit. We've got to do better. We've got to score more points. We aren't going to be the wins the game we want to win in January, February, March unless we can score. But we'll take the win at this time. Okay, now we're going to go to a preview of next week's games, which is Tuesday versus Berkeley Prep. We're also going to preview the Christmas tournament and talk about a little bit what we're doing during the Christmas break and how we're going to get better, how we're going to solve the offensive problem and try to get better on defense. We can get better on defense, okay? So we play Berkeley Prep this Tuesday on the road. We play them at 5:30 and 7. So since there's no school for us, 5:30 and 7, we can get a bus earlier. Hillsborough County starts the game at 7 o'clock and we can get home early, so we like that. Berkeley came to us in the Mosaic last year and we promised him that we would come back to him. Berkeley is one of the top 50 schools in the state by match preps, and they're one of the top 50 schools in the state every year, the last few years. They're that way because of their coach, Ronaldo Garcia. You guys remember Ronaldo Garcia played at the University of Florida. He was at Sickles for probably 15 years. We beat him in the 2010 state championship game when he was at Sickles. He put us out in 2017 and he won a state championship in his last year at Sickles in 2017. And now he's been at, he left there in 2017 and has been at Berkeley now in his 7th season. This is his best team at Berkeley. Okay, he's got, first of all, I want to shout out Gabe Grimsley and his dad, his mom and dad, Wanda and Jose Grimsley. You people that are from Polk County, you know Jose Grimsley. He played at Lake Gibson on Gary Meyer's good teams in the 80s and 90s. I think he may be Lake Gibson's all-time leading scorer. He may be Lake Gibson's all-time leading scorer. Well, his son plays, he lives over in Tampa. He plays at Berkeley Prep. He's a freshman. I hope you don't have a good game Tuesday, but a shout out to Polk County to Gabe Grimsley. He's number 15. They've got 2 or 3 more players that are pretty good. Number 3, Matt Abel, 6'5" guard. Probably their best player. He can put it in the basket. He can shoot it. He's great defensively. Okay, number 4, a kid by last name of Morris, also 6'5". Number 34, a 6'7", I think freshman. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I won't. So a Hondo or something like that. They're big. They're physical. They're good defensively. They're sound. They share the ball. They have good decision makers. It's going to be a well of a contest. We're going to have to play a lot better. You say, well, McGriff, you guys are playing better. We're going to have to play a lot better to beat Berkeley at Berkeley on Tuesday. But we got practice today on Monday, up for the challenge to try to get ready for Berkeley on Tuesday, okay? Other thing we want to talk about is going down to West Palm Beach for the Holiday Classic of Palm Beach. That's December 27th through the 29th in Palm Beach County, okay? That's a Wednesday through Friday. We do not, it's a little 18 tournament. Wellington County is the whole school. You guys know Wellington's pretty good in basketball. We're on the other side of the bracket, but we don't get any favors to start. We start with Miami Northwestern. And most people think of when they think of Miami Northwestern, they think about it as being a football school, and it certainly is. But I want to let everybody know they've got the state of Florida is winning his basketball coach there. Now this is his 3rd year. His name is Melvin Randall. If you don't know that name, I bet you know this name. Pompano Beach Ely. He's been the coach at Pompano Beach Ely for the last 15 years. He's got 9 state championships. So when I say he's the state's best coach and the winningest coach, he's got 9 state titles. Nobody's got that many. He's now at Miami Northwestern. They're undefeated, 5-0. That's our first game down there that Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Okay, I don't have any personnel for him right now. We're gathering tape now, but we know his team. We've had to play his team. We played his team. Our Bartow team played Ely in the 2013 Final Four, and they put a whipping on us. So I know what the DNA of his teams are. They're going to be locked tight defensively. They're going to try to take you out of what you want to do. Okay, offensively, they're sound. They share the ball. And so they're always physical and they're disciplined and stuff like that. So our schedule is it's a nice schedule. We put together a good schedule to challenge our guys. And if we can get past that game, there are more teams that'll wait. And I don't want to go into all that, but we're excited about the Christmas tournament that we're going to in West Palm Beach. Some of the Yellow Jacket fans are disappointed that we're not going out of state. We go out of state almost every year, but I'm excited to be staying close to home and getting great competition close to home down in West Palm Beach, okay? What I'm most excited about is being able to go during Christmas break, not have to go to class, okay? That means I can spend extra time with my family. The coaches can spend extra time with their family. The players can spend extra time with their family. But with the thing I like the most about it is we get to practice more. So we've got 4 practices. We're going to practice Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So wrapped around Berkeley Prep, we're going to practice every day. We're going to get better. This is how we get better. This is how we're going to solve those offensive issues and turnovers that we're having. And the ability to not make shots. We're going to practice and work it out. But we still can get better defensively. We're not there. We're going to practice and work it out, right? We're going to have 2 practices the next week. The guys will get Saturday, Sunday, Monday off to celebrate Christmas with their families. Jesus is the reason for the season. And then we're going to practice Tuesday. We're going to practice Wednesday before we leave to go down to West Palm Beach. Then when we come back from the tournament, we're going to give them New Year's Day off. And we're going to practice that Tuesday and Wednesday before that. So we'll get 8. We may practice on New Year's Day, the day of the broadcast. So who knows? Okay. I love this time of year because our team, well, we've got good teams. teams, when we've had championship teams, they come together during Christmas. They come together because we spend time together, because we watch more tape, because we don't have the school, because we can spend more time being a family, because we can practice like it's the practices the first 2 weeks of the year, the first 2 or 3 weeks before a game starts. So I'm excited to get the Christmas break. I'm more excited to get the Christmas break at 6-3 than when we started 1-3. So we were 1-3 and we rattled off a few wins in a row to be 6-3. Thankful for that, and thankful to be going into the Christmas break. Last thing before we ask questions, I do want to send my heartfelt condolences to Billy D. Washington and the Yellow Jacket, and the Lake Wells Highlander family on the loss of his brother Daryl. Most people probably don't know this. Me and Billy were fierce rivals during his 5-year tenure in Lake Wells, but we become pretty good friends. We coached together with the Tony Bradley team, and we text each other and talk to each other about family and faith and friends and basketball. He's a basketball savant, and so I want to send my condolences to him. I want to send, and not just me, but the Yellow Jacket family. I want to send our condolences to his mom and his dad, who are also good people, and everybody in Lake Wells. This morning, the passing of George Darrell Washington, who is Lake Wells' all-time leading scorer in basketball, I believe. Billy told me he was the all-time leading scorer in basketball. So we know he's in a better place, and we're praying with you, and we're celebrating his life with you during this time. Okay? Okay, so I want to say this. The question was the focus of the practices. What is it during the break? I want to say this. Everybody's different. I got a buddy in Haggerty, Josh Cohn. He gives his kids off during Christmas break. He wants to spend that time with his family. So I'm not even sure they practice. I know they don't play in Christmas tournament games. Our philosophy is different. We take our family with us. So my wife and my kids will be on the Christmas tournament with us, and Coach Austin's family and Coach D's family and everybody else's family. So we include our family with us, and we go to Christmas to the tournaments. And we like to go out of state. We like to do the different educational stuff. So we'll do that down in West Palm Beach while we're there. But our focus in practice, I'm glad you asked, our focus in practice will be a return to the fundamentals. Some of our offensive issues are off of some fundamentals, something about skill and feel for the game. So return to fundamentals, ability to make decisions. And so what we'll do is we'll do some fundamentals, some things we do in September, October that maybe we take for granted in November and December because we're installing systems, things like that. So we'll do some return to fundamentals. Those fundamentals, we'll work on defensive fundamentals. People think that fundamentals are just an offensive thing, but we will also work on some defensive fundamentals. So it will be a return kind of like to the regular season practices before the season starts, the first couple weeks in November. Okay, we're going to try to fine tune on things that we've got to do to be a great team. To us, to be a great team, you've got to be able to share the ball without turning the ball over. We can't have a turnover percentage of 35%. Okay, we got away with it against Jesuit because our defense was great, but that's going to get you in the end if you can't get that down. Sometimes you're going to have turnovers in the game if that team, Jesuit, was good defensively. Okay, but that's unacceptable. So we kind of try to hone in on that by watching more tape. We got more time to watch tape, we'll watch more tape. Okay, we're going to, one of the things we're going to do, okay, we've got some things that we have kind of been slacking on because we've been working on other things. So we're going to work, I don't want to talk about them, but we're going to work on those things that we're kind of slacking on. Okay, we've got to shot fake more. Okay, we got to pass fake more, right? We've got to be able to handle pressure with rips and pivots. So I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but it ain't no secret with what we got to do to get better, right? We got to be able to handle pressure more. We got to be able to finish more inside. We're not shooting a high enough percentage inside. We're kind of shying away from contacts. We're going to get the pads out. We're going to, just like football pads, we're going to get after it about finishing inside, right? So that when people when there's a 40 to 16 free throw disparity, apparently we aren't doing a good enough job of getting our guys to be physical, like Kathleen got his job to guys to be physical. So we're going to work on being more physical. Okay? We're going to work on our passing. We're not throwing hard enough passes. Okay, we're going to work on our defensive angles to cut people off. We're fouling. Like, I thought we did a good job of not fouling the Jesuit game, but we fouled too much the Kathleen game, and so we're going to work on defensive angles. We're going to work on guys playing through their chest defensive. That's a defensive fundamental. We're going to work on the guys' IQ, the ability to make decisions. So the practices will be intense. They will not be walkthrough type of practices. It will be just like the practices we do to start the year, but with a little bit more detail. The guys will have a little bit more detail because we built. I mean, today is December the 18th, and so we're better. We got more detail in than what we did November 18th. You know, and so the practices will be a little bit more detailed. The kids will be able to think and reason a little bit more to make the practices more crisp. But we're going to get after it because that's the way we got to play to win. We got to get after it to win, and that's the way we'll play. We've got to be better offensively. Again, people say, well, McGriff is a defensive guy, and he doesn't care about offense. Yes, I do. And I care about offense because I want to win. Do I think that, okay, have we had somebody that's averaged 40 points a game or 30 points a game in Bartow? No. But if we got guys, this guy's averaging 17 and this guy's averaging 13 and this guy was averaging 12, and they're balanced. Like we've been balanced. Dan had a big game 2 or 3 weeks ago against Jenkins, I think it was. And then now Rick had one Saturday afternoon against Jesuit. And Jay Sean Williams had a 20-point game against somebody. So I like that we're finding different guys. It's different days to do the scoring. What we've got to do is be more consistent, be more efficient, make more shots. You know, we talked about being able to pull the pads out. We've got to get the turnovers down. We're going to turn it over some because of the way we play, but we can't have 20 turnovers, 25 turnovers, 27 turnovers in the game and win those games. So that's what we're going to focus on during the break. It's going to be great. Practices during the Christmas break are great. Practices during Christmas break are great. We're looking forward to the game. We're looking forward to Berkeley Prep, and we're looking forward to the Christmas tournament.
#701 West Lime Street, baby.